Imagine a factory that never sleeps. It works 24/7, 365 days a year, without breaks, without noise, and most importantly, without light. Inside, mechanical arms move through complete darkness, assembling components, welding circuits, packaging products. It's as if the factory has become a living organism, capable of thinking and moving on its own without ever losing rhythm. Welcome to China's dark factories, and they're spreading everywhere. What makes these factories revolutionary isn't just their efficiency. It is that humans are no longer the main characters. At the center now are sensors, algorithms, control software, thermal cameras, everything optimized to the millimeter, as only the Chinese know how to do. But this raises some massive questions. Why are these factories in the dark? Why are they spreading so rapidly across China? And what will happen to the millions of Chinese workers who once crowded production lines? Stay with me. The answers will blow your mind. The darkness isn't just a dramatic effect. It's a strategic decision based on technical, economic, and symbolic considerations. First, energy savings. If there are no human workers in a facility, there's no need for lighting. In a country like China, where plants can be as large as entire cities, every kilowatt saved is gold. Lower costs, less waste, fewer emissions. Second, maintenance. Less light means less heat dispersed, less stress on machinery, lower risk of environment-related breakdowns. Machines live longer, break down less, and work better. But here's the most powerful aspect, the symbolism. The darkness becomes a signal of an epochal change. It is as if these factories are telling the entire world, we no longer need humans in here. In these factories, vision is entrusted to thermal cameras, radar, and multi-sensory systems. Decisions are made in real time by software that never gets tired. And there is a strategic message. China wants to demonstrate to the entire world that it can lead global industrial automation. These are factories capable of producing in a few hours what 1,000 workers couldn't accomplish in perhaps a week for decades. China's abundance of cheap labor transformed it into the world's factory. But now the economy is changing, and China is no longer the country of infinite, cheap labor. The wage reality. In the last 15 years, minimum wages have grown significantly, especially in coastal provinces where the largest factories are concentrated. This has undermined the sustainability of the old system based on enormous volumes and minimal margins. China's strategic response. Rather than pursuing a new race to the bottom, China decided to focus on quality, automation, and innovation. Dark factories are the symbol of this paradigm shift. No longer simple assembly lines for low-cost products, but true technological laboratories where competitive advantage is no longer price, but speed, precision, and intelligence of the production process. The demographic crisis. China's working-age population is shrinking. Young people are fewer and less willing to work in exhausting environments. Industry can no longer rely on an infinite mass of available labor. It must reinvent itself. Real example, take Zeekr, a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer born in 2021. Their cars cost up to $15. Yet in their main factory, Zeekr manages to produce 800 cars per day thanks to a fleet of robotic arms moving in perfect synchronization with almost no human intervention. But here's the unavoidable question. If workers' hands are replaced by sensors and chips, what happens to all those workers? China has advantage. Chinese companies have an advantage over Western ones. Labor regulations in China are much less severe. There are no strong unions to negotiate with, no strikes that block lines, no collective resistance that slows the adoption of new technologies. For businesses, this translates to complete freedom. The downside, workers are often more exposed to sudden changes, without adequate protections or effective tools to defend themselves. Government response. The Chinese government has launched professional retraining programs, investing in technical and digital training to help workers transition from manual tasks to more advanced roles like robot maintenance or data management. The reality check. Many displaced workers end up seeking employment in less qualified sectors, with lower wages and less stability. The government's Made in China 2025 plan aims to transform the country into a technological powerhouse. But this plan, while creating new highly qualified jobs, isn't designed to absorb the masses of workers expelled from factories. The numbers tell the story of this acceleration. In 2023 alone, half of the industrial robots installed worldwide were in China. Since 2015, when Xi Jinping launched Made in China 2025, the level of automation has increased sevenfold. Beijing's goal, total self-sufficiency, to no longer depend on the United States or other Western countries. The global problem, when you have a country like China, where entire supply chains are increasingly automated, production capacity becomes potentially unlimited. Add state subsidies and low-interest loans, and the result is overproduction that floods global markets with goods sold at ultra-competitive prices, often even below actual production costs. This puts European and American companies in serious difficulty. They simply can't compete. The market disruption, when a country can produce almost without limits and sell below cost thanks to state support. The risk is that market rules get turned upside down. The normal functioning of the market, where supply and demand compete in a balanced way, breaks down completely. The situation with China's dark factories is as fascinating as it is unsettling. On one hand, they show what technology can do when pushed to the maximum. On the other, they raise profound questions about what happens when machines replace humans and the global market bends under the weight of productivity that knows no limits. So here's my question for you. Did you know about these dark factories before this video? What do you think about this overproduction? Will it ultimately advantage or disadvantage the dragon in the long term? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button if this opened your eyes to something new, and subscribe for more deep dives into the technologies reshaping our world. The future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. And right now, it's happening in the dark.